One of the routines that we're going to be working on Fridays is going to be called the word part of the week, the word P.O.W. And since this is the first word part, we're going to do a quick review of what the different word parts are. So a root is a word part that cannot stand alone. If you add it to a word or take that part of the root off, it doesn't make sense by itself, as opposed to a base, which can stand alone. When you take prefixes and suffixes off of a base, it makes its own word. But its meaning changes when you add prefixes and suffixes to them. A prefix is a word part that you can add to the beginning of a base or a root, and a suffix is a word part that you can add at the end. The word part we're going to start with this week is cred or credit. We're always going to give an example word, and it should be a word that everybody knows, so we're going to use the word incredible, which means something that you just can't believe. It's so amazing. This is a root, and you notice that if you took cred by itself, it doesn't make a word. In this case, credit doesn't either, because we're not really talking about like a credit card. The definition of cred or credit when it's used in a word is believe or trust. And so a couple of words that we're going to try that may be new to some students are creditor and credulously. Students will have a chart that lists all the different word parts, and we'll continue to add to that as the school years goes on. So hopefully by the end of the year they'll have about 20 to 25 different word parts that they know to build onto the word parts that they learned in 6th grade. Our first word part is incredible, and so we always break the word apart and map it. So if we look at the different word parts, there's one word part in, that's a prefix, and then we've got cred, and then the suffix ible. Attacking the meaning is looking at what each of those different word parts means. So when we look at the prefix in, it means not. We're studying cred right now, and we know that it means believe or trust. And the suffix ible can mean can be done. So if we were going to predict a definition putting all those words together based on how we attacked it, we might say something like cannot be believed or trusted. What students do in class at this point is look the definition up, and the actual dictionary definition means hard to believe. So we were pretty close in our actual definition of incredible. The next word we're going to talk about is creditor. So we're going to map the parts, cred. We know there's a suffix or, and I'm not sure at this point if there's it or not. I know that it is a word, so we'll look it up on our chart later. We know that cred means believe or trust, and when I actually look at my chart, there is no prefix or suffix or word part for it, but there is one for or, which is one who. So if I were going to predict a definition, putting those two parts of the word together, it means one who can be believed or trusted. When I actually look up the definition, a creditor is a person or firm to whom money is due. So now when we think of a creditor, we might think of somebody that does work for a credit card. And in thinking about how believe or trust fits into this definition, we might say that a creditor or a credit card gives you money on the belief or the trust that you're going to pay them back when you do get the money, or in installments or monthly payments. Our last word part is credulously. So the first word part is cred. We have you. I know there's a suffix ending os and another suffix ending ly. Cred means believe or trust. I don't see you by itself anywhere on our chart, but ous is possessing the qualities of, and ly means characteristic. characteristic, of. There we go. So if I were going to predict a definition, I might say possessing the qualities of something that can be believed, which is very similar to incredulous, which we had would not be believed. So if I look it up in a dictionary, credulously actually means ready to believe, especially on slight or uncertain evidence. And if I wanted to say slight, maybe a synonym might be little evidence. Something that you would believe even though you didn't have very much evidence to believe in it. So, cred is going to be our first word part. After about 6 word parts, we'll go ahead and give a test, but I really would like students to start looking for other words that we could build on and add to our word wall that have to do with cred or credit.